Is there sacred or secular work? I encountered a division of work into secular and sacred about 30 years ago. Sacred work was described as work done in a church or parachurch ministry as a full-time minister or an administrator. Any work outside the ministry in the corporate world was referred to as secular work. Sacred work was elevated above secular or corporate work. The division of work into sacred and secular work started with the Church Fathers about AD 300 as Greek thought pattern began to dominate theology. The Greeks in the 3rd century considered everyday work to be a curse or demeaning occupation that has no spiritual meaning and not uplifting. This led to the church forming a lower view of work when it is not a service to God in the local church. On the other hand, the Jewish perspective was that work is part of God's purposes in creation. Jewish teachers were therefore not expected to just live on contributions from their students. The teachers were expected to be engaged in a trade to support themselves, just like Paul supported himself as a tentmaker while planting churches. Colonel 3:23-24 states that, "Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for men, since you know that you will receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward." Deuteronomy 28:12, God stated, "I will bless all the work of your hands as we live in obedience unto him." This means that every work we do is unto God, and there is no classification of work into sacred or secular work. The individuals who work in ministry cannot fulfill their potential without the individuals in the corporate world and vice versa. Apostle Paul in 1 Corinthians 7:20-24 stated, "Each one of you should stay the way you were when God called you. If you were a slave when God called you, do not let that bother you. But if you can be free, then make good use of your freedom." Those who were slaves when the Lord called them are free persons who belong to the Lord. In the same way, those who were free when they were called are now Christ's slaves. You all were bought at a great price, so do not become slaves of people. Brothers and sisters, each of you should stay as you were when you were called, and stay there with God. This means we can serve God in the corporate workplace that we find ourselves, and we should stay there with God. Paul advocated for the integration of daily work with our faith in God. In the Old Testament, we had individuals who served God in environments that were not supportive of their faith in God. Esther, Daniel, Joseph and Nehemiah served as God's representatives, just as Christians today are expected to serve in workplaces. In summary, you are not the work you do. Your work is part of how you express who you are. Who you are is reflected in the way you do your work. You are a child of God, and the character of God like love, excellence, care and wisdom should be reflected in the way you do your work. When the Spirit of God comes into our lives, we become God's temple and sacred. We become the church, not the physical building. It means that the life of God must be reflected in all that we do and say. Therefore, we need to continually grow in our likeness to Christ. The works of our hands should no longer be deemed to be secular work. Keep in mind that secular means denoting attitudes, activities, or other things that have no religious or spiritual basis. God is the core of our lives like the hub of a wheel, and the spokes are like the different aspects of our lives. Without the wheel hub, the spokes cannot hold, and there will be no complete and functional wheel. May the good Lord bless the works of your hands as they are executed based on His Spirit's leading. We believe you have been inspired and empowered. Please like, comment, share, follow and subscribe to Live Faith Out at Work Ministry on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube to promote success and ministry empowerment for positive influence in workplaces. And Audible Trial. For more, by Transformed and Transforming Society by Dr. Lana Adalai Aliasi and Binga Falayan. Phone number 12049607056 and 2348023003962. And other titles, paperback, e-books, and audiobook editions on Amazon. Call Kindle and Audible at very affordable rates or free $0 with Kindle Unlimited and Audible Trial. For enquiries and church seminar booking, call on 12049607056. Email at info@livefaithoutatwork.org. For more inspirations, free e-books and other Christian life and ministry resources, visit us online today.